Western Pennsylvania and beyond, we're about to put our fingers on the pulse of the Neotropolis. The pulse is pumping live with our host, Brian West. My name is Dwayne Watkins, the music maker, your MC. And our special guest today is Mr. Rocky DeFrank. I want you guys to put all your hands together and show some love for Mr. Brian West. Come on, take it away right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pulse Extravagant in the lovely city of Youngstown, Ohio, where the environment and the air is still clean. We got an interesting show for you today. We're talking about fathers. Father's Day is right around the corner. Actually, I think it's the next day after the show airs. We got a big show. We're talking about fathers, and I got my man Rocky DeFrank. He's going to come on and talk about the life of a father in his new age environment. It's a big show, but when I talk about fathers, I can't help but to notice that bad fathers get more attention than good fathers in this country, and that's what eats me up. It eats me up, you know what I'm saying? Because good fathers will sit there and watch a bad father get front page of the Vindicator or any type of paper without paying his child support. And this got to me a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because I've never had kids, but I can possibly vouch for how it is being a man when you got kids and you watching all these negative things happen and all this negative attention. It can't help but make you want to go back into negativity. So my point for this show is to try to get these good fathers some recognition, some love, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody in society watches men do some crazy things, and women watch it as well, but they don't ever give credit to the guy that's actually sticking around, like, you know, and raising the kids. So I thought the show would be good. But like I said, I'm going to hit on some topics tonight. Okay, they got this thing that they have. It's called child support. And first I'm going to explain to you how child support works. Child support is when a dad leaves his kid and he has to give a percentage of his income to the mother of the child who raises his kids. And this is sad. This is real sad because this is a big problem in America right now because nobody knows if this mother, what she gonna use the money for. So what I did some spying, you know what I'm saying? I went to I like to go to the suburbs sometimes, and sometimes I like to go to the ghetto. So I did some spying. What I did was I went to each neck of the woods. First of all, I went to the suburbs, and I was doing some spying. You know, I drove my car up there, and I looked at it. I talked to some attorneys, and I smuggled in some information, and I looked at this lady who had about $7,000 worth of child support, and she was living in the suburbs, and she was driving around a Mercedes-Benz. I say, man, that's a bad car. And I'm like, man, I looked at my list. I say, she getting about $8,000 worth of child support. So what I did, I went to go find the father, and the father, good man, good decent man. I'm looking at him, he in church. I'm like, oh man, he in church. Well, this don't match. This don't make sense. So then I went back, and what I seen the lady, she had a grown, just built man, just get out the car with her. It was her boyfriend. So she had a boyfriend, and she was supporting the boyfriend with this man's child support money. So I go back, and I was spying on the dad, and I'm like, what is he doing? I'm like, oh man, this brother was driving a Dodge Horizon from 1960, I think it wasn't even a classic. It was so bad. The muffler was scratching the ground. It was making, one of the rims was rusted out. Brother had and I went over and talked to him, man. I'm like, man, what's your name, man? He say, my name is Devin, man. You know, it's all right. You know, times is rough, but I'm going to get through it. I'm like, so you got a good job, man. Where you working at? One of the highest paid companies in America. And I'm like, yeah. He say, man, but you know, this child support is eating me up, but I'm gonna get through this, man. You know, what goes around comes around. So what I did, all right, that was the rich situation. So I went to the poverty-stricken mom who was getting child support from her man. You know, he was in the rap game or something, making music, and he was making big time money. And this is sad, you know. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to the neck of the woods, lower class society. So I go find her. I'm hunting her down, you know. And I got out my vehicle, you know, like I'm on Cheaters, and I'm spying. And this girl got all types of baby fat on. Skin tight, booty shorts, and just walking with such elegance. And I'm like, okay, so let me find a kid. I want to find a kid. I want to see what the kid got on. So I'm looking around the corner and I see the kid hair ain't cut, got on some low top Reebok pumps from like, I think like maybe the 80s. Kid ain't have no brand new shoes. And I'm like, man, this is rough. You know, this is American policies. It's got to change. So after I'm looking at all this, I start to realize, I say, America got a big problem with the system. It's the system. So there's good people getting cheated and there's bad people succeeding. So how do you fix a system like that? You know what I'm saying, Wayne? How do you fix a system like that? And then you have women who have kids by somebody else, and then that man, it's rough. Like I said, it's a big mess, but this show is specifically dedicated to the good fathers out there. We're going to come right back after this break, Wayne. Like I said, give us something smooth to break us out with. My man Rocky DeFrank going to come back on. We'll be right back in the pulse with me, Brian West, the good father, the good son. You know what I'm saying? I don't got no kids, but I'm still the father of a pulse. We'll be right back in the pulse with Brian West, everybody.
Ready before Donnie gets here, see you two, and smell no food. That man, it would only get worse.
We appreciate all the clothes you donated to the Brotherhood of Paul. No, you've really been a blessing to them, Paul.
No problem, Pastor Knight. No, God has been good to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is my way of giving back.
Mom, Dad came here to tell us something. Daddy, what's wrong with Daddy? Daddy, hold my feet, Daddy! No!
Welcome back to The Pulse, everybody, with me, your host, Brian West. This next guest we have coming on is a Golden Gloves contender. He is an evangelist, a Christian, born-again Christian. He's got kids. He's got good kids, about four boys, one daughter, and he's been shot 5 times. He's in recovery from drug addiction. A good man, good, solid man. He's converted his life. Great father. I've been around him for a long time. My man, Rocky DeFrank, everybody. Excellent. Pretty good. Have a seat, my man. Have a seat. Oh man. Now, this right here is historic, man. You know, I got your wife, but now I got you.
Yes,
you know
sir.
what I'm saying?
Sure did.
Now, Rocky, the thing I like about you is you got a happy ending to tell after so much drama, so much chaos. You know, you were shot 5 times, you're a recovering drug addict, and now you've taken all that and you've become the father of people who cannot overcome stuff like that. So tell us a little bit about that responsibility, especially in this new environment where, I mean, everything's going chaotic. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Brian, it's like you said, it's been a rough road for myself.
Yeah.
But I didn't do this on my own. You know, I had to seek something positive. I had to find something, man, a higher power, because I tried to do it on my own for 15 years and it wasn't going to work that way. So I ended up going to church. I ended up just falling at the altar and just crying out. And God, we could do all things through who strengthens us. So that's basically how I'm getting through everything. Through the drugs, through the alcoholism, through everything. I gave it all to Christ. He took it away. So
now that, I mean, and you know, it was funny because in my situation, when I was in my marriage, and like I said, I don't talk about it too much, but I had to face the fact that I was something that happened where the child that was born I had to, you know, face that it was not mine. So when I had to refer to Scripture, and a lot of people don't know how important Scripture is in people's lives. Or, I mean, just being any type of biblical scholar, just trying to engage in that Christian walk. I noticed that what inspired me was the fact that Joseph and Jesus, I'm sure you know the story when he talked about God and how God gave Joseph the right to bear and take care of his son. So that's interesting, but when you think about that concept, it has to put you into the mind of a fatherly figure. And sometimes you have to be sound, and you can't always go for the negative route. And do you still struggle with that at times?
No, man, when I was in my first relationship, I put the worldly things before my family and my children.
Yeah, yeah.
And now I'm married, and my strength comes from the Lord.
Yeah.
It's like everything now, I know how to raise a family and everything, because me, my kids, my wife, we all go to church. I mean, I go 4 days a week.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just like I'm raising them different than how I was raised, and I'm not allowing the streets and the filth on TV and the filth in music corrupt my children's minds. So I keep them away from that. And we just go to church, man. We serve the Lord. I mean, I don't want my kids to know of everything I've done in the past. You understand what I'm saying? But I try to stir them away from that. Like, they'll ask me questions, I just tell them no.
It makes sense. It makes sense, you know, because you don't want, it's hard, and that people always look at the fact that how hard it is being a mother, but they don't understand when you're a father, it's rough, because you got to face other men, you know, alpha males or whatever you want to call them, who want to embark on your territory. Like, it was rough for me. And you have trust issues sometimes with other females, and that's what eats me, is that good fathers don't get a lot of recognition, the ones who are sticking around. I was raised by another man, so he had to, you know, he had to be there. He had to change my diapers. He had to, and you know, he had to be that far. So, and that's what it kind of, you know, I've always looked at the positive side. You know, there was some negative moments when I was growing up, but I never took that in there. So when you, as you're growing older, have your kids ever tried to throw anything up, like, or have you always been there for them?
Like I said, my first relationship, it fell off because I chose drugs, and it was my fault. I chose drugs. I chose other women. I chose the streets. I chose money. I chose everything else, and let my kids and the girl that I was with before, I just basically ignored and didn't do what a father figure was supposed to do. And then after I faced reality, was shot, robbed, fist fights every day, jail, lawyers, court. So I mean, it was just like, something got to give, man. And I was in the mirror one day smoking a blunt, and I looked ridiculous. I finally just woke up one day, man, and I just stopped it. I just said, I'm not doing this, and I walked to church, man. And I just gave it to the Lord, man. I said, here, whatever battles I'm going to face in the future, whatever I'm going to do, if I have other kids, the thing that I want, Lord, I want you to teach me how to raise them in a house that I could serve you and my family could serve you, because this world has nothing for us.
Excellent, excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, we come back in the pulse. We're going to have a little bit more Rocky DeFrank. You ready over there, Wayne? We're going to come back with, we're going to have a skit. We got my man Rocky on the show. We'll be right back. He's going to close us out with some more.
Just like you made a choice to get this coin, you will have to make a choice to pass life into this world.
Boys only want one thing. They're trouble, I tell you. Trouble, do you hear me? Do you understand?
We have no hope, Precious. Look at us. We're both high-class girls with little-class lives.
Precious, be encouraged. Your life is about to change.
No, I didn't think maybe I just woke up and it was gone.
Do you read it?
It seems you're pregnant, young lady.
I think pregnant, doctor. There's a hurricane! There's one moving on us! You're out of control!
If I let you in, you must undo this mistake.
Even if you are pregnant, I'm gonna throw you down the flight of freaking stairs if I gotta get rid of this baby.
Okay, Walter, okay, I'll get rid of the baby.
Far beyond the galaxies there existed common law, better known as the supreme law beings. Their job was to maintain balance throughout the universe. It seems that the balance was interrupted once the Alpha-Mega spirit beings found comfort and solitude. There was a prophecy given by an elemental years before the creation of the father beings known as man. The prophecy stated that once the supreme law beings entrapped the father beings with law, the Alpha-Mega spiritual beings would give the female species reign over the galaxies. It was not wrong for the female species to rule, yet there must be balance between them and the father beings. It was written. It was declared by the Alpha Gods in the creation of man that these father beings were to rule the galaxies to keep peace in the universe. Only the spiritual beings could disrupt such a force. If the father beings were ever dethroned, the elements would rule the galaxies and the human race, the human species, would be eradicated. On the planet Earth, the center of the cosmos, the Alpha-Mega spirit beings rule the species known as woman, and the Alpha-Mega gods rule the species known as man. This begins the legend of Alpha-Mega. After 7 years of peace, the spirit beings had found a crack in the eternal code known as the human race. The time had come when the element of death would end. This disrupted the elementals because if there was no death, they could not keep a balance in the galaxies. Once this cycle became disrupted, only the Alpha-Mega God could bring the cycle back in balance. The story begins with the female species overthrowing the planet Earth by taking advantage of the supreme law. It is now 2014 AD, and the father beings are being oppressed, and the supreme law beings have become overwhelmed. There is no justice. This made the Alpha God to take the form of man as he became Alpha-Mega Man. He would use his power to restore the fate of the fatherhood beings. Once Alpha-Mega God would find a chosen man, he would use his vessel, and that is when Alpha-Mega God became Alpha-Mega Man, to save the fate of humanity. As the spirit beings watched as children roam the streets with no fathers, this angered the Alpha-Mega gods. So Alpha-Mega Man would travel back through time, several generations, when the cycle of law first began. He overthrew the existence of child support in all fashions that separated the family. It was the fate of the Alpha-Mega gods to bring justice back to the system. It seemed that the spiritual beings had enticed the women of planet Earth into such independence that the father beings would not be useful. This was a con that could only come from the supreme law beings to obtain their power. The Alpha-Mega gods watched as many good men became weak and overthrown. It was shameful to the supreme ruler of the universe, as Alpha-Mega Man used his chosen vessel to adhere to the protest of all the fatherly beings to restore justice on the planet Earth. At the end of his journey, the fatherhood of the planet Earth was restored once more, and the law was good. The ethics of the human race was back in order as man took one wife and was well pleased. Everyone embraced Alpha-Mega Man, and all was well in the kingdom. He gave the human race justice and favor in the eyes of the Alpha God, that they too would someday have eternal life as well. The end. Happy Father's Day.
MethodAidInc.com and Method 8 Arts Academy is a proud sponsor of the arts. Our productions can be viewed on our Method 8 Corp YouTube channel or by visiting Method8Inc.com. All of our productions focus on conscious building issues with films like Miracle, The Land of Escobar, The Birth of the Dreamer, which deal with women's issues.
Touch me, you understand? Don't you ever touch me.
Stop, you heard
I worked too hard for this, Precious, to make ranks, and I don't have time to go through this, okay? No, even if this baby is mine, you get rid of it, okay? You get rid of it. You understand me?
Okay, Walter.
Method 8's Indian Summer, which focuses on sacrifice.
Complain. That's all you humans do. What, you think I poisoned your food? You think I'm some kind of killer? Lamani's not coming back.
Or Academy Special Projects, which shows like Field Angels to help combat youth violence.
Here, Friedman. President Bixby wants to shut you down.
Shut us down for what? Friedman, we're just getting started.
They say you've been using little girls to crack cases.
You put your hands on me, Friedman. I don't care. We've lost Penny, Raven, and Sparks. I'm the only one left, Friedman. We're gonna solve this. We're gonna turn this whole damn city into the kingdom after I get done.
All these productions can be viewed on our YouTube channel. All donations can be made at method8inc.com. Every donation goes towards productions to combat issues to save lives, with classes and funds to train and support the actors. All sponsors are recognized in every program. It is the belief of every representative at Method 8 to believe in their abilities and to use art to save lives. Show your support today at method8inc.com. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pulse with the world-class Brian K. West with my man on the side, Rocky DeFrank. We're talking about love, happiness, and fatherhood on Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the men out there. Go ahead and tell us now, Rocky, we got a few minutes left in the show. What would you like to see in this new environment? Do you think it's able to fix itself with all the child support, with all the chaos, with all the, bitterness and strife? Would you as a father, and you got a good ending, and you got a more life to even have a better ending? You know what I'm saying? You're setting a legacy. So how would you see this new environment? What do you see that needs to be changed, especially when it comes to ministry?
Every day, man, I pray, man, that more men step up to take care of their children and women. It's just not only men, it's women too. There's this world pollutes the mind of children, and when I was younger, my mom let us stay out until street lights came on. Now you got kids that are lazy. They don't want to go out. They don't want to do nothing because now there's Xbox, there's PlayStation. So they sit in the house and they PlayStation all day long, Xbox all day long. With fathers, and we need more love. We need more love. Love conquers everything, Brian. If we could get more love in society and start spreading the love in families, start bringing back family value, because family value, sitting at the dinner table praying, talking about what happened in school today, how was your day, all that's gone. Now there's fast food. Everybody's depending on fast food. They don't even have time for family. They grab a sandwich and they go on with their day. So we need family value back in America. We need love back in America. So once we start getting family value, once we start putting love back in, and start putting prayer back in schools. But it's first has to start with home. You have to put Jesus in homes before it can even go back in the schools.
Yeah, you're right.
So we got to put prayer, we got to put the name of Jesus back in things. And then once that happens, I'm telling you, this country will turn around. It might not get better because it's not supposed to. Biblically, it's not supposed to. But we as Christians can put our foot down. And we can start making a change.
Now, what do you think about there, Wayne? You got to...
I agree 100%.
No, we're going to close out, but I just wanted to make sure you always get your last word. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Pulse. Give me some happy, some good stuff over there. My man Wayne, the music maker, everybody. We'll be right back next week with me, the smiling face and love and happiness. And I sing songs as well. Me and Rocky, we spar together. We got a big fight coming up, too. July 26th, check us out. We'll be at the Eastwood Expo Center. Big fight. Go ahead, close us out with some music, Wayne. We'll be right back in the Pulse next week with me and host Brian West, everybody.
Surely lose a lot.
Just like you made a choice to get this coin, you will have to make a choice to pass life into this world.
Boys only want one thing. They're trouble, I tell you. Trouble, do you hear me? Do you understand?
We have no hope, Precious. Look at us. We're both high-class girls with little-class lives.
Precious, be encouraged. Your life is about to change.
No, I didn't get married yet. I just woke up and it was gone.
Do you read?
It seems you're pregnant, young lady.
I can't be pregnant, doctor. There's a pregnant! There's one food on us! You're out of control!
If I let you in, you must undo this mistake.
Even if you are pregnant, I'm gonna throw you down the flight of freaking stairs if I gotta get rid of this baby.
Okay, Walter. Okay, I'll get rid of the baby.
Introducing the world's first mobile business card. Now you can hand out your business card right from your smartphone. Your customers can call, text, email, web, map, or share your contact information with just one tap. Get the B-Cards app today. Go to www.bcardsapp.com. Available at the App Store or on Google Play.